Chapter 9, The Assumptive Close. The Permission Trap. You have done the work. You stripped away the fluff, Chapter 1. You diagnosed the problem, Chapter 2. You built the narrative, Chapter 7. You handled the objections, Chapter 8. Now you are at the finish line. The pitch is over. The room goes quiet. And this is the moment where 90% of professionals destroy their own momentum. They lean forward, smile nervously, and ask, "So, what do you guys think?" Or, "Do you want to move forward with this?" This is the permission trap. By asking these questions, you are handing the authority back to the client. You are placing the burden of the decision entirely on their shoulders. You are asking them to take a leap of faith. And when human beings are asked to take a leap of faith, their instinct is to freeze. They say, "Let us think about it." They say, "We'll get back to you." The momentum dies. The deal enters the maybe zone, which is where deals go to die. Strategic influencers do not ask for permission to proceed, they assume it. They stop asking if we do this and start discussing when we do this. This is the assumptive close. It is not about being aggressive, it is about being a leader. If you truly believe your solution is the right one, if you diagnosed the pain and prescribed the cure, why would you ask if they want to take the medicine? You should be handing them the water and telling them how often to take it. You guide the conversation all the way to the signature. The psychology of mental ownership. Why does the assumptive close work? It works because it bypasses decision fatigue. Making a big decision, buying a house, signing a contract, hiring a consultant, is stressful. It carries risk. The logical brain is looking for reasons to pause. When you ask, "Do you want to buy?" you trigger that stress. But when you discuss the logistics of the future, you trigger mental ownership. Let's look at the real business example from the real estate world. A real estate agent was struggling to close sales. She was doing everything right, showing great houses, being polite, and answering questions. At the end of a tour, she would always ask, "So, do you like this house? Do you want to make an offer?" Most buyers would hesitate. "It's nice, but we need to see a few more." She decided to change her script. She stopped asking for the sale. Instead, she started asking logistical questions about living there. Walking into the spare bedroom, she wouldn't say, "This is a nice bedroom." She would ask, "Where would you put your desk in this office? Would it face the window or the wall?" The buyer would look at the window. They would imagine their desk. They would imagine sitting there on a Tuesday morning drinking coffee. By answering the question, they had to mentally move in. She asked, "Would you put the TV over the fireplace or on the stand?" She asked, "Which kid gets this room?" Her close rate jumped 35% in 3 months. Why? Because she stopped asking, "Do you want this?" and started asking, "How will you use this?" By the time they got back to the front door, they had already arranged their furniture in their heads. The decision was made before the question was ever asked. This is how you win clients. You help them visualize the future so clearly that saying no feels like losing something they already own. Tactical framework, the logistics bridge. In B2B sales or leadership, you can't ask where they will put the sofa, but you can use the logistics bridge. The logistics bridge is a technique where you transition from the presentation immediately into implementation details. Do not pause at the end of your slide deck. Do not say "the end." Instead, pull up a timeline. The script is, based on what we discussed, if we want to hit that launch date of October 1st, we need to kick off the onboarding by next Monday. Who on your team needs to be in that kickoff meeting? Is it just you, or should we include the IT director? Look at what just happened. You didn't ask, "Do you want to hire us?" You asked, "Who needs to be in the kickoff meeting?" To answer that question, they have to assume they have hired you. "Oh, Dave from IT needs to be there." Great. I'll send the invite to you and Dave for Monday. I'll send the agreement over this afternoon so we can get that administrative stuff out of the way before the call. The contract is no longer a decision. It is just administrative stuff that needs to happen before the real work, the meeting with Dave. Communication creates results when you focus on the work, not the transaction. Tactical framework, the option close. Sometimes you can't just assume the kickoff date. Sometimes there are genuine variables. In that case, use the option close. Never ask a yes or no question. Do you want to sign? Do you want to start with the full package, or would you prefer the phased rollout to ease the team into it? Both A and B are yes. I think the phased rollout is safer. Excellent choice. That allows us to test the waters. I'll write up the scope for the phased rollout and get it over to you. You gave them autonomy. You let them choose, but you framed the choice so that both roads lead to the deal. This relieves the pressure. They're not deciding whether to work with you, they're deciding how to work with you. The next steps slide. Here is a practical action you can apply to every presentation deck you build from now on. Delete the thank you/Q&A slide at the end. Replace it with a slide titled Proposed Next Steps. List 3 bullets. Sign agreement by Friday. Kickoff call next Tuesday. Audit begins next Wednesday. Leave the slide on the screen. When you finish your pitch, point to the slide. This is the timeline I mapped out to make sure we hit your goals. Does this timing work for your team, or is next Tuesday too soon for a kickoff? Now you are negotiating the Tuesday, not the contract. If they say, Tuesday is too soon, we have a board meeting, you say, no problem, let's do Thursday. You have successfully closed the deal. You are just scheduling now. You guide the conversation by placing the map on the table. Leaders have maps. Vendors have brochures. Be the leader. The fear of being pushy. I know what some of you are thinking. This sounds pushy. I don't want to be aggressive. Let's reframe that. Imagine you have a leaking pipe in your basement. You call a plumber. The plumber looks at it and says, "Yep, it's leaking." Then he stands there. He asks, "So, do you want me to fix it? I can fix it if you want. What do you think?" You would be annoyed. You called him to fix it. You want him to say, "It's leaking. I have the part in the truck. I can fix it right now. It'll take 20 minutes. Show me where the water shutoff is." That isn't pushy. That is helpful. That is professional. Your clients have a leaking pipe. They have a problem they can't solve. They are tired. They are confused. They want you to take charge. They want you to tell them where the water shutoff is. When you use the assumptive close, you are saying, I know how to solve this. I am confident in the solution. Let's get to work. That is a relief to the client. Insecurity asks for permission. Competence assumes the second step. The AI accelerator, the contract drafter. How does artificial intelligence speed this up? The friction often happens after the verbal yes. You agree to move forward, but then it takes 3 days to get the contract out. In those 3 days, the excitement fades, doubt creeps in. AI makes you faster, not weaker. You should be able to generate the contract during the meeting or immediately after. Have a template ready. Use AI to fill in the variables. Draft a statement of work based on these meeting notes. Include the phased rollout option we discussed and set the start date for next Monday. Send the document within 15 minutes of hanging up the phone. Speed signals competence. If you wait 24 hours, you are just another vendor. If you send it in 15 minutes, you are a partner who is ready to run. Your next step. Here is your challenge for Chapter 9. Review your email outbox.
look at the last 5 proposals you sent. Did you end them with, "Let me know what you think," or "I look forward to hearing from you"? If so, you are in the permission trap. Rewrite your next closing email using the logistics bridge. I've attached the agreement. To stick to the timeline we discussed, we should aim to have this signed by Friday so we can book the kickoff for Tuesday. Does 2 p.m. Tuesday work for your team? Stop asking if they want to dance. Just hold out your hand and start moving to the music. You have now mastered the entire life cycle of the conversation. You kept it brief, you listened to the subtext, you told the story, you assumed the close. You have the deal. The client is yours. But you are only one person. You have only so many hours in the day. If you want to grow, if you want to influence thousands of people instead of just one, you cannot be in every room. You need to clone yourself. You need to build a machine that communicates for you. You mastered the close. Now you need the scale.